On the morning of February 28, 2026, explosions shook central Tehran. Within hours, shocking reports began to emerge. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, had been killed in a targeted strike.
Khamenei is dead.
The attack repeatedly hit a high security area near Pasture Street, the neighborhood that has Iran's most sensitive government buildings, including Supreme Leader's office compound. At the time of strike, a high level meeting of senior Iranian political and military figures was believed to be taking place inside the compound. Multiple Iranian officials were repeatedly killed alongside Khamenei, although the exact number and identities of those present have not been fully confirmed. This was not just another airstrike, it was the most significant targeted killing of a national leader in modern Middle Eastern history. For Israel and US, killing Iran's supreme leader would be a major strategic victory. For Iran, it's a moment that could reshape the entire structure of its leadership. Within hours, security forces sealed the area, communications were disrupted, and Tehran entered a state of high alert. The world was suddenly asking the same question: how did this even happen? How did Israel and the US know exactly when and where Khamenei would meet his top officials? Targeting one of the most protected leaders in the world is not something that happens by accident. Ali Khamenei rarely appeared in public without layers of security. His movements were highly secretive, and during periods of heightened tension, he often stayed in secure locations or underground facilities. Yet, on that morning, Israeli intelligence appeared to know exactly where he was. This strike was probably not planned in a few days. Investigations suggest that Israel and the US had been collecting intelligence for years before the attack. They used different type of intelligence sources together to understand how Iran's leaders move and where do they meet. There are three main types of intelligence that may have been used. First one is signal intelligence. This means monitoring communication networks. Intelligence systems can capture phone calls, messages, emails, and radio signals to understand what officials are discussing and when meetings might happen. Next is human intelligence. This comes from people on the ground, informants, insiders, or spies who can provide information from inside the country or even inside the government circles. Next is surveillance analysis. This involves watching movement patterns over time. So there are analysts who study targets' routines for months or even years, tracking vehicles, bodyguards, meetings, schedules, and travel patterns to predict when important officials might gather in the same place. By combining all these sources, intelligence agencies can build a detailed picture of a target's routine, which helps them identify the right moment and location for a strike. According to investigative reporting, Israeli intelligence agencies had spent years studying Tehran's security environment and leaders' movements, which allowed them to build an extremely detailed picture of how Iran's leadership operated. Once intelligence official reportedly said, Israeli intelligence knows Tehran as good as it knows Jerusalem, which is the capital city of Israel. Even with intelligence about the meeting, executing such a strike would require precise timing. Military planners needed to make sure of three things. First, that the target was actually there. Second, there was enough time to strike before the meeting ended. High value targets rarely stay in one place for long. Once they leave, the opportunity would go. Third, the target had to avoid Iran's air defense systems, including Russian made missile defenses protecting key government areas. Because of these challenges, analysts believe the attack likely involved precision guided munitions designed to hit very specific structures while minimizing the risk of missing the target. Shortly after the explosions, Iranian media began reporting casualties among senior officials. By the following day, on 1st March, confirmation came. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was dead. While the scale of the strike shocked the world, the conflict behind it was not new. For decades, Israel and Iran have been fighting a hidden war, using spies, cyber attacks, and secret missions instead of open fight. For example, the Stuxnet cyber attack, widely believed to be a joint US-Israeli operation, targeted Iran's nuclear program in the late 2000s. The malware damaged centrifuges used to enrich uranium, setting back Iran's nuclear development. Several Iranian nuclear scientists were killed between 2010 and 2020. One of the most prominent cases was Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, widely described as the architect of Iran's nuclear weapons program, who was assassinated in 2020. In 2018, Israeli agents carried out a daring operation inside Tehran, repeatedly reportedly stealing thousands of documents related to Iran's nuclear program from a secret archive. These operations reveal just how deeply intelligence agencies have penetrated Iran's security systems. Strike that killed Khamenei did not happen suddenly. It's a part in a long-running secret conflict between Israel and Iran. To understand why tensions between Iran and the US run so deep, we have to go back more than 70 years. In 1953, Iran's democratically elected Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh nationalized the country's oil industry, which had previously been controlled largely by British companies. The move triggered a geopolitical crisis. The United Kingdom and the US feared losing influence over Iran's oil resources and strategic position during the Cold War. Later that year, the CIA and British intelligence carried out Operation Ajax that removed Mossad from power. Iran's monarchy under Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi was restored and ruled with strong Western backing for the next 26 years. But over time, anger against the Reza's rule and Western influence kept growing. That growing anger finally exploded in 1970 when the Iranian Revolution ended the monarchy and established the Islamic Republic. Since then, Iran and the US have remained in conflict for decades. The killing of a country's supreme leader is not just another military strike, it is an event that could reshape the political future in an entire nation. Some people believe that killing powerful leaders can weaken dangerous governments. Critics say such actions could destabilize entire countries and start bigger wars. What happens next will determine whether this strike becomes the beginning of a much larger conflict or a turning point that reshapes the balance of power in the Middle East. But one thing is already very clear, the shadow war that has been going on for decades is no longer completely in the shadows.